Hi, I'm Jun. I'm gonna ask and answer 10 questions about myself. Let's get into it. The first question is, what is the most pleasing thing about living in your town? The reason I got to love my neighbor is that the Han River is quite close to my place. I usually go on some walks by the riverside and have some coffee at Starbucks, which is floating on the river. The view of the water and the skylines of the buildings and the green park, they are the perfect combination to chill at. The next question is, do you prefer printed books or ebooks? I prefer printed books. One good paper book gives a pleasure to touch and turn the pages. And compared to ebook, printed books have default format. As the authors and publishers release their books, they choose the best layout to deliver the contents to the readers with a careful consideration. If the layout of the book is altered on an ebook device, it is likely to miss the writer's key intention. That's why I stay loyal to the traditional books. Next one is, whose music or art encourages you most? One of my favorite of all time is an American band, Pink Martini. They're not just a typical band, but more like an orchestra that crosses several styles such as classical, Latin, traditional pops, and jazz. Every member of the band is very talented artists from all different parts of the world. Especially the lead singer, China Forbes, she's amazing. She sings in more than 15 different languages. They have beautiful and diverse repertoire, so I think they are one of a kind. How do you want to be perceived by your students? Becoming a qualified and professional one in my field may be the top priority. On top of that, good teachers seem more likely to be strong communicators. They always care what is needed for their learners and how the learners think about what they're doing. So I want to be perceived as a reliable teacher in an educational and communicational perspectives. How do you see yourself in 10 years? I like to spend time painting using acrylic paints. The white canvas is like an infinite world of possibilities. It's not about how technically good at it. It's about how good at expressing yourself in an artistic way. So the collections I work on mean a lot to me. So someday, hopefully in 10 years, I'd like to open an exhibition of my own. I will invite the people I love, share ideas, and talk about our next dream. Next question is, how do you start your day? I start my day with a nice cup of coffee and my favorite playlist. I do like the moment when I enjoy making coffee and writing down my thoughts. What are 3 words that best describe you? The first word is hardworking. I believe hardworking people have a good discipline and willpower to do what they need to focus on. And the next word is thoughtful. In life, it is some tiny but thoughtful behaviors from others that make us truly happy in our everyday life. And the last word is positive. I've once read about interesting article about it. The article says, some things that happen in our lives are nothing in itself. It absolutely depends on how we interpret them. Next one. What is the biggest misconception about you? People sometimes misunderstand me as a person with a lot of patience at some tough situation. But honestly, I find my impatience when I have to wait for some things or someone, or especially when I have to wait in a very long line in front of popular restaurant. Last question. What's the irrational fear you have? I do have an irrational fear of flight. When I have to take a flight to travel, I feel that fear starts to grow inside. I can't stop thinking of the worst situation I can imagine, and that makes me too nervous and unstable. And the last question is, how do you handle your fear of flight? I've tried some ways to overcome that feeling of dread, but unfortunately, they weren't mostly helping that much. So I take medication for motion sickness. I know it's not a great idea, but I have no choice. So I slightly overdose some, and that helps me fall asleep for a couple of hours on board. I'm done. Thank you for watching. Bye.